الله الرحمن الرحيم الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار. الله الرحمن الرحيم الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار.
As-Salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In this program of the beautiful names of Allah, today we are going to take first Al-Mu'izz and then Al-Muthil. Al-Mu'izz, which is coming from Izzah, the honorer who gives esteem to whom he likes. And Al-Muthil is going to be the opposite of that, the dishonorer, the one who gives humiliation. But let us first explain Al-Mu'izz. And we have said when we were explaining about Al-Aziz, that this word Al-Aziz, which is coming from Azza, Ya'izzu or Ya'azzu or Ya'uzzu, because of that variance, it got three implications, three meanings. The first is Al-Aziz, the one who got none to compare with him, none similar unto him, none like him. And the second meaning, that he is the dominant, nobody can dominate him. And the third, that he is strong, so strong that nobody can frustrate him. So all these three meanings are contained in this word Al-Mu'izz. He is Allah who can give Al-Izzah. He can give the dominance. He can give the power. That is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, as it is in Surah Al-Imran, قُلِ اللَّهُمَّ مَالِكَ الْمُلْكِ تُؤْتِي الْمُلْكَ مَنْ تَشَاءُ وَتَنْزِعُ الْمُلْكَ مِمَّنْ تَشَاءُ وَتُعِزُّ مَنْ تَشَاءُ وَتُضِلُّ مَنْ تَشَاءُ بِيَدِكَ الْخَيْرُ إِنَّكَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. Say, O Allah, the owner of the kingdom, you give the kingdom to whom you like. You take away the kingdom from whom you like. You give honor and dignity to whom you like, and you humiliate whom you like. بِيَدِكَ الْخَيْرُ. In your hand is all good. إِنَّكَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. And you are able upon each and everything. And in the very same way, مَنْ كَانَ يُرِيدُ الْعِزَّةَ فَلِلَّهِ الْعِزَّةُ جَمِيعًا. And the person who wants real dignity and honor, then he should know that to Allah belongs the dignity and honor. He is the source of dignity and honor. If you want it, then seek it from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you that dignity and honor, al-izzah, then spend it to make this deen a dominant one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves that person who gives that honor to his deen. Man a'azza deenahu. The person who is giving that izzah, that dignity to the deen itself by supporting it, by preaching it, by conveying it to other people with all the power and the abilities which he got. Then of course, if you support the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah is going to support you as well. Now there is that saying of the leader of Munafiqeen al-Madinah, لَإِنْ رَجَعْنَا إِلَى الْمَدِينَةِ لَيُخْرِجَنَّ الْأَعَزُّ مِنْهَا الْأَذَلُّ. He said, though he was just behaving like a Muslim, but he was a hypocrite, a munafiq. And he said, when we will come back to Medina, the person who is honorable is going to expel the person who is humiliated. And by honorable he meant himself. And by humiliated he meant the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the answer comes from Allah. وَلِلَّهِ الْعِزَّةُ وَلِرَسُولِهِ وَلِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَلَكِنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Let him know that the dignity and honor, it belongs to Allah and to the Prophet, his Prophet, and to the believers. But these munafiqeen people, hypocrites, they don't know, they don't realize. They think that because they are enjoying some wealth and power and some supporting and some following, this is why they got this dignity. But they don't realize that the real dignity lies in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He can deprive you at any moment from that honor which you think you got, because the honor lies in the hand of Allah. There is a very good saying of Ali ibn al-Husayn, the son of al-Husayn ibn Ali radiyallahu ta'ala anh. Very good saying. He said, "Man arada izzan bila ashiratin wa haybatan bila sultanin wa ghinan bila malin falyakhruj min zull al-ma'siyah ila izz al-ta'ah." The person who wants the honor without a tribe, because some people in the olden days, because if you got a very big tribe, you are more honorable in the eyes of the people. So the person who wants that dignity, that honor without a tribe supporting him, وَهَيْبَةً بِلَا سُلْطَانٍ, and he wants that without authority, the people should have a very great respect for him, and وَغِنًا بِلَا مَالٍ, and he wants a wealth but without money, any wealth of another type of nature, without money, فَلْيَخْرُجْ مِنْ ذُلِّ الْمَعْصِيَةِ إِلَىٰ عِزِّ الطَّاعَةِ, then he should come out, he himself should come out from the humiliation of disobedience, humiliation of the sins, to the dignity of obedience, and you will get it. So what he is trying to say, that once you leave the sins and you obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you follow the commandments of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you will have that honor without a tribe. You would have that respect from the people without a big authority, and you have that istighna, that you are independent without getting a lot of money. Now let us move to the second attribute here, which is Al-Muthil. And we have already said when explaining this ayah of Surah Al-Imran, تُعِزُّ مَنْ تَشَاءُ وَتُذِلُّ مَنْ تَشَاءُ, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who gives honor to whom He likes and humiliation to whom He likes. That is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And He said in Surah Al-Mujadilah, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يُحَادُّونَ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ أُولَٰئِكَ فِي الْأَذَلِّينَ. Those people who wage a war against Allah and His Prophet. The word yuhadduna, yani they are in a had, and Allah and the Prophet in the other had. Yani they are in different quarters. They are not with Allah and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They are in a different place. These people, who are they? Ulaika fil adallin. They are among the humiliated people. That is the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that eventually they would be humiliated. Why? كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَأَغْلِبَنَّ أَنَا وَرُسُلِي إِنَّ اللَّهَ قَوِيٌّ عَزِيزٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already recorded that He would be dominant. He said, I would be dominant and my messengers. إِنَّ اللَّهَ قَوِيٌّ عَزِيزٌ, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is strong and He is dominant. Look, during the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the very same people, the people of Quraysh, who waged a war against the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who persecuted the Prophet and his followers, those people who used to mock the Prophet and the early followers of Islam, what happened to them? On the 8th year of Hijrah, when Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam entered Makkah as a conqueror, riding on his camel, even then he did not show an arrogance. And it is reported in the book of Sirah that when he entered into Makkah, he was sitting on the back of the camel, but his head was touching the head of the camel with humbleness, because of humbleness. Anyhow, the people, the Quraysh people, they were just standing on his right and on his left in rows, looking at the Prophet and the believers entering into Makkah. each group with its banner. And these people, they were looking with surprise in their eyes. They are the very same people whom we do to persecute them. These are the people we used to say, you are the weak people, you got no support, you got no tribe with you. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given them the victory. This is the promise which is made by Allah. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يُحَادُّونَ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ أُولَٰئِكَ فِي الْأَذَلِّينَ. And this thing has happened to the people before us as well, because the people who were before us, the Israelites, Al-Yahud, they were given the very same task which we are given, the Muslim Ummah was given. And that is to convey the messages of Allah, to be a good example for all the mankind for the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as long as they stick to that, they got dignity and power. They have these mighty rulers like Dawood and Sulaiman. These are the rulers and the kings who were witnessed by Israelites. But when they started worshipping the idol, then what happened to them? ضُرِبَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ الظِّلَّةُ وَالْمَسْكَنَةُ وَبَاءُوا بِغَضَبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ كَانُوا يَكْفُرُونَ بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ وَيَقْتُلُونَ النَّبِيِّينَ بِغَيْرِ حَقٍّ ذَلِكَ بِمَا عَصَوْا وَكَانُوا يَعْتَدُونَ. Humiliation and disgrace has been stamped upon them, and they returned with the wrath of Allah, because they used to reject the signs of Allah, the ayat of Allah, and they used to kill the prophets without any justification at all. ذَلِكَ بِمَا عَصَوْا. This is because they were disobedient and they disobeyed their prophets, they disobeyed Allah, وَكَانُوا يَعْتَدُونَ, and they used to transgress. That is an example which is shown to us, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not showing any favor to us, any favor to anybody. Even the Muslims, if they leave the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are going to face the same situation. And I could say that why that humiliation which is witnessed by the Muslim Ummah nowadays, this is for the same reason. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, إِذَا تَبَايَعْتُمْ بِالْعِينَةِ وأخذتم بأذناب البقر ورضيتم بالزرع وتركتم الجهاد في سبيل الله سلط الله عليكم ظلا لا ينزعه منكم حتى ترجعوا إلى دينكم. That hadith, marvelous hadith, giving us a clue to all the state of humiliation in which we find ourselves. If you are going to deal in al-ina, that is a way of transactions which is actually based upon riba or the interest or usury, and you are just confined to the tails of cows and your farms, and you have left al-jihad in the way of Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to stamp you with humiliation, and He is not going to take it away from you until you return back to your deen. So this izzah and zillah is in the hands of Allah. If you are true to Allah, He will give you izzah, and if you are not true to Allah, He give you that humiliation. Wa sallallahu ta'ala ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. And inshallah we are going to continue after the break.
الله الرحمن الرحيم الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار.
Huda TV strives to bring you, our viewers, the best in Islamic programming. Please send your comments and suggestions to feedback@huda.tv.
الله الرحمن الرحيم الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار.
As-Salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to this program about the attributes of Allah. And in this session, we are going to speak about His attribute As-Samee. As-Samee, which is from Sami'ah, the all-hearing, the hearer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who hears every voice, who hears every sound. And later we are going to touch on that issue, the comparison between the hearing of the man and the hearing of Allah, in the light of the ayah of Surah Al-Shura, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْبَصِيرُ. There is none similar unto him, and he listens and he sees. But first, let us say that there may be three stages as far as this attribute is concerned. First of all, that his hearing covers everything. You can't even imagine about any voice, any sound which is unnoticed, unheard by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just think about a tiny insect hidden in the depths of the ocean, under a rock, in the darkness, in complete darkness. Of course, in the depths of the ocean, there is everywhere there is the darkness. There is no distinction between the daylight or the night itself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala listens and hears to that insect as well. That is the first stage. The second stage is that he knows that what this voice which is coming from that insect means. That voice or that supplication which is rising from that creature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what does it mean? Not like the man. A person may knows just his own language, or two languages, or three, say 30, but not more than that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who knows every voice, every language, and whatever it means. And the third stage is that as long as he knows everything and he is able to remove the worries of the people, then he responds to that voice as well. فَيَكْشِفُ السُّوءَ, and then he removes, if there is anything, any evil to that, any evil happen to that person or creature, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is able to remove it. So these are the three stages which are understood and with which we can understand the attribute of Allah As-Samee. This is why in one of the dua, when we say, we have already said that your dua may not be responded because of your involvement in haram earning. So this is why when you say dua, there is one dua, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min du'a'in la yusma. O Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I take your shelter from a supplication which is not heard. Though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hears it, but because He does not respond to it, the reason why that you are earning haram, then first of all try to leave that haram earning. And also supplicate to Allah, O Allah, listen to my supplications. And in our prayer we keep on repeating, what do you say when you stand from your ruku'? Sami Allahu liman hamidah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has listened to the one who praised Him. And here it means He listened to him and He accepted. And He accepted his worship as well. And we should believe in that attribute without making any resemblance with the human being, without saying how it happens, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said about Himself that He listens, He hears. Then you should not say how, because that is up to Allah. And in the very same way, we don't negate that attribute by saying that no, He does not listen, that means something else. That is also out of question completely. Now let us come to some ayat which deals with this attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and how the people, the great people of this earth, I mean the prophets of Allah, have reacted to this. وَإِذْ يَرْفَعُ إِبْرَاهِيمُ الْقَوَاعِدَ مِنَ الْبَيْتِ وَإِسْمَاعِيلُ رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. When Ibrahim and Ismail were raising the foundations of the house of Allah, that was in Mecca, and they were saying, Rabbana taqabbal minna, O Rabb, accept from us. Innaka anta as-Sami'ul Alim. Indeed, you are the one who hears and you are the one who knows. Sayyidina Ibrahim, Sayyidina Ismail alayhi salam, supplicating to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after doing this act of worship, making that house, constructing that house of Allah, asking Allah, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know our intentions are good, taqabbal minna, accept from us. That should be the practice of the believer. When you do a good act, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept it. Again, take the example of Sayyidina Zakaria alayhi salam. Zakaria alayhi salam has seen Maryam alayhi salam that she is receiving the fruits out of season. At that time, Sayyidina Zakaria alayhi salam at once thought about himself. I am an old person. My wife is also not only very old, but also a barren lady. She can't conceive. But still he is looking for a child because he got no child. He got that belief that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if He wanted to give him the child, He can give him. This is why the Quran says in Surah Al Imran, هُنَالِكَ دَعَا زَكَرِيَّا رَبَّهُ قَالَ رَبِّ هَبْ لِي مِن لَّدُنكَ ذُرِّيَّةً طَيِّبَةً إِنَّكَ سَمِيعُ الدُّعَاءِ. After seeing Maryam and what she is receiving, the fruits out of season, he supplicated to his Rabb, to his Lord, saying, O Allah, give me from yourself a good progeny. Children, good children. And that is again a very good clue for every Muslim. You are asking for sons and daughters. Don't say, O Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just give me sons and daughters. Say, dhurriyatan tayyibah. Ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala children, but good children. Not disobedient children. Not children who are not children but monsters walking on the road. And some children are monsters. I mean that they become very disobedient to their parents. They don't listen to them at all. And because he made this dua with all sincerity. إِذْ نَادَى رَبَّهُ نِدَاءً خَفِيًّا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has responded him at once. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him the good news of Yahya alayhi salam. And this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds. If you are sincere in your supplication, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to respond. Some of your dua may come true very soon. Some takes time because that is in the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we may come back to this issue, but let us take another ayah. That is the beginning of Surah Al-Mujadilah. قَدْ سَمِعَ اللَّهُ قَوْلَ الَّتِي تُجَادِلُكَ فِي زَوْجِهَا وَتَشْتَكِي إِلَى اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ يَسْمَعُ تَحَاوُرَكُمَا إِنَّ اللَّهَ سَمِيعٌ بَصِيرٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has heard the saying of that woman who was arguing with you about her husband. وَتَشْتَكِي إِلَى اللَّهِ. She was complaining to Allah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was listening to that dialogue of both of you. Because إِنَّ اللَّهَ سَمِيعٌ بَصِيرٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala listens, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. What is the message which is conveyed here? That woman, whose name is Khawla bint Sa'laba, her husband said to her that you are to me just like the back of my mother. This is known in Arabic as al-dhihar. Anti alayya ka dhahri ummi. You are to me just like the back of my mom. Means you are haram upon me. So she was very much startled and worried. What is going to happen to her? This is why she came to the Prophet ﷺ, and she was telling the whole story. The story is still, the dialogue is still between the two, between the woman and the Prophet ﷺ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that Allah was listening to that at the very same time. And in the following verses we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed how zihar is going to be treated, how this issue is going to be treated. And then the kafara of zihar is mentioned, and this is how a person can come out of his folly, the foolish thing which he has done, by paying this kafara or doing this kafara. So that is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala listens to each and everyone. Don't think that He is unaware of us. No, whatever need you got, just say it. Just mention it in your dua, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows it. And we have said earlier in one of the episodes that though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what is in your heart, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala certainly knows what is in our heart, but still, because He has given you this tongue, speak out. Use this tongue in supplication, in praising Allah, in celebrating the praises of Allah, and then admitting your sin, and then asking what you want to ask. This is what we are supposed to do. And we can mention here another aspect, that as long as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala listens to all the voices and all the sounds, then we should not be in such a position on the Day of Judgment that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will hold us accountable for our bad utterings, our bad words. In this world, we should try to abstain from the lies, from backbiting other people, from slandering them, from giving a false witness or testimony, because all these things, they are noticed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala listens to them, and if we got a lot of such type of things on the Day of Judgment, it is not going to be a very good sight on that day. And remember that on that day, nothing is going to benefit you. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ وَلَا بَنُونَ إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. That day, no money, no children are going to benefit you, except if you are coming with a sound heart, a clean heart, a heart populated by Iman and Islam. وصلى الله تعالى على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله الرحمن الرحيم الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار. الله الرحمن الرحيم الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار.